Fine. He's hard-headed.
He wants to do it his way?
Nah.
That's okay. He can.
There's 500 ways.
That's it.
How we doing? You doing okay? Can you see me? Pull the audio up. What's it look like? Good. 3, 2, 1. All right. Hey, did you read through all that, Terry? Is it good? But I mean, it's showing up.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're gonna move it back? You're gonna leave it right there?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't move it like behind that cord? Why?
You don't talk loud.
They couldn't hear you last time.
They don't need to hear me. I say very
Testing 1, 2,
little.
3. Testing, testing, testing.
Come on, Miss Terry.
It's in my way.
It's not me.
Hey, that opened back up.
Testing 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3.
What if I promised
Jake,
to,
how's it going, my man?
what if I promised to talk louder?
Okay, it's not picking up.
Long day.
Did he come on
Still teaching?
Did it come on over there, Terry?
Yeah, now that every day? At LSU?
I'm making sure that next one works.
Does it work? Am I loud? Look, let me just try it. Let me just try it right there.
Right about
Can we do it right there? Can we do it right there? And you can hear me? Okay. You know, I say very little.
What is that about?
Testing 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
Well, Keith needs to go over there. He needs some hours.
Yeah, it's for the day. It's the fall trailblazer one.
Okay.
Yeah, they do one
I think Keith's already signed up for that.
Is he?
I think he did.
They do one every fall.
I'll ask Stacy if you want me to. I'm sure.
I don't know. He was telling me today he needed to come in early and talk to Stacy about that.
Let me go ask him, but
But he's supposed to come in early.
How many is he lacking?
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Luke.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy? How are you? Good, man. Good.
Can you hear, Terry?
I'm coming back from work.
Hey, Phil.
There you go.
How you? I'm
There
good.
you go.
How you? Can you hear? Testing 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
Don't give me any respect.
Shut up.
Ah, shut up. Get out. Get out of here.
Oh, man.
Oh, sir.
You wrong with that, huh?
It's another day in paradise.
Very well. How you doing? Terry, so you the one that came to this one trying to watch the sport, man?
Yeah, what else we got here? What we got going on?
Hey, what's happening, bud? What's the word? Hey, the word is, they got a training. You know about it? Okay, Jay's going to it. It's in that.
One got more hair than one don't.
What you said? Friday.
If you had more facial hair there, and
We'll train you. Me and Robin are training you.
I really believe it.
Yeah, we'll train you.
Friday. You got good looks, the brains, and good looks. I gotta pull pits. I gotta get pits and all that stuff.
Oh, they got the fair. That's right.
What you gotta do?
I teach you get barbecue pits for fair. I mean, Georgia, different fire departments and all that. But go ahead and tell him why you ain't teaching him. I know he's waiting to hear it. Well, I don't hear you on radio. Yeah, every day you? Oh, not every day. No, I listen. So I listen on, on my way to Baton Rouge every day. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Charlie said we wasn't accurate with the signs, the number of signs. But I do know this, you can't have one and just haul it around.
Tanisha Jake.
Called me today.
It is.
Yeah, and I explained to him. And I explained to him the legislative intent was to have the back of that ticket. The ticket right now says, tell us who was driving your car. The legislature says, you have to notify them that they don't have to say.
That's what I heard.
No.
That's what he's driving a bus in.
Anyway, they can do everything wrong. It doesn't matter. There's nothing that can happen to them, just like
Can you
there's nothing that
imagine?
can happen to the speakers if they throw their ticket away. There's nothing, so it's just simple. So you can do it all wrong. There's no consequence. So it
He's
doesn't
building
matter.
a house.
We just don't need to be doing
Building a house.
We don't need to be involved.
Been
You're
having
the
that,
senior, I did not see you walk in.
he's been having that property forever. You're talking about Brent Whitney. He's,
Holland,
yeah,
that got Zimmer anyway.
and teaching.
Yeah, he said, well, why didn't
His
he
money's
do
just
something?
overflowing, he gotta
Yeah,
do
too
something with it.
He gave some stupid outlandish reason. But as far as I'm concerned,
I'm glad it's all.
His building has to be at a piece of property next to his parents on 1188.
If everybody you know with
And
2
that
cents
little
is
farm.
against it, you know.
come to order. Mr. Dexter Compton will lead us in the prayer. Mr. Ricky Adams, the pledge. Would you please stand?
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day that you have given unto us and all the many blessings that you continue to bestow upon us. Now, Lord God, we ask that you would continue to lead and guide us in the work that you've assigned to our hands, that we may do it with excellence and in a manner that is pleasing and glorifying to you. We pray your blessings upon this board and our school system in its entirety, that, Lord, the work that we are able to do will continue to positively impact the students across this district as well as the communities that they are from. And may you get the glory from it all. In the name of Jesus, we ask these blessings. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, recommendation to approve the adoption of the minutes of the regular board meeting held Tuesday, September the 17th, 2024, as printed and mailed to board members and published in the Weekly News Official Journal of the Board. What's a pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Robin.
I move that we adopt the minutes with the exception of item 12.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Robin that we accept the minutes with the exception of number 12, seconded by Mr. J. Any further discussion?
Can we state on the record what item 12 is? Just
For the record, item 12 is gonna be, the agreement between the Avoyelles Parish School Board and the city of Marksville, of the, traffic zone. I'll say it that way.
Thank you.
Yeah, bleep.
It's not on here.
Last
It's
month.
the minutes.
Okay.
It was on the last agenda.
All right. All in favor of accepting the minutes with the exception of 12, say aye, tap the gavel.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Okay, item number 12. Mr. Robin?
Mr. Chairman, it's come to my attention that, the item that we passed, there's some issues with it, some legalities with it, some problems with it. And, I was on the prevailing side of the motion, so therefore I move that we rescind that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Ricky. The motion to rescind is debatable and requires a 2/3 vote to pass.
Mr. President,
Any discussion?
can I,
I'll give you, name yourself, sir, for the
Chief-
record,
Chief
and I'll give
Smith.
you 3 minutes.
Chief Smith, Martinsville Police Department.
Okay.
3 minutes from now.
Can y'all state me what the concern is concerning, the traffic, citation? Can y'all tell me what's the concern?
The sign,
Can you tell me what's the concern about it? What's
yes,
illegal
sir.
about it?
Yes, sir. The, what I see is the signage.
The
What they're
signage?
saying the signage needs to be.
I'm passing y'all around each a copy. The
Okay.
sign, the act says that the sign has to be a 4x4 sign, yellow, which is highlighted on your paper. It says that it has to be clearly visible to the approaching traffic. The sign shall be bright yellow and shall read photo enforcement device at use. When you go get your package, you're gonna see that that sign is being used.
My concern is with the procedural and due process part of this. What happens if, number one, the police don't follow this rule? What happens to them? And what happens to the people if they don't pay a ticket when they get in there? I don't see any of that in this act.
It's in there. Keep reading it.
What happens to them? It doesn't,
It says that it can be sent to a collection agency.
no,
not-
actually, it says they can't be sent
No,
to a
no.
collection agency.
Not to a credit bureau. That says nothing about a collection agency.
But is the purpose of you sending to a collections agency to mess up somebody's credit if they don't
No,
pay it?
no, it's to collect it. That's why we're going through
What
the
happens if you
state.
don't pay the collections agency?
They'll get it from you, from the state taxes or whatever.
No, they won't, this law says they can't do that. They can't
Okay.
take it from state taxes. They simply can't. There's no teeth in it on either side, is my problem. If that says that if you don't follow your part of it, there's
Well,
nothing
Mr.
that
Gallagher,
can happen.
let me ask you something. When you're a game warden, what did you process when you done a gross littering ticket? You found a piece of trash on the side of the road.
We're talking
You
about,
said, whoa.
that was a crime. This is the
Well,
civil.
yeah, but wait, how did you prove that person threw that trash there? You just found a piece of paper
In a court of
and
law.
wrote that person up.
In the court of law, we did. Not civilly. This is civil.
But how could you prove that was that person, just like the question is being said of who's driving this vehicle? That's your concern.
The
It's a
judge was the
political
one who
issue.
decided it then.
It's a political issue. And it's a shame that y'all gonna sit right here and y'all gonna rescind this motion and telling every parent, student, teacher, supporter enforcement that you don't need this money because some political influence got to y'all and said to rescind this.
That's not what we're saying, so.
Yes, that's what it is. You might not be saying it, but that's what it is.
Okay, Ms. Jill?
So I respect your position, and I'd appreciate if you'd respect mine.
I will.
If you were here for the last one, I had I had a lot of opinions about this, and I think the safety issue that you bringing up is fantastic, and I think the funds that it would bring to the school board is fantastic. I am concerned about a class action lawsuit later down the road, because it's nothing to do with you at this level.
I understand.
I just don't feel it's done properly.
Well, you're
I would,
just-
let me finish,
okay.
please, sir. I would love for you guys to be able, that's the timer, but I mean, I'm taking up some of his time. I would love for you guys to be able to have people slow down in our school zone, and I would love to produce income, just not this way legally. It's not that we don't support you guys and what you're doing. That's my opinion. So that's how I am sitting here and telling
Okay,
these people
and your
that I'm not
district attorney,
supporting
which
them.
is your attorney for the school board, sat right here in the front row and said it is totally legal. There was nothing illegal about it.
He did say that, and when I say it's
Okay.
illegal, we're looking at what could happen further down the road.
A lot of things can happen to anything. They can sue you for something that's
Smith,
school tomorrow.
you asked my
you know?
opinion, and you asked why, and I'm telling you why,
Well,
but we,
All right, my question is this, sir. Why isn't the city judge, why doesn't he appoint the designee and have jurisdiction?
Because he doesn't want to fool with it. Because
And for what reason?
it's, I'm not gonna get on,
Well,
on there and
that's
say
my issue
why, but
right there. Because I don't think it's legal to go around and get another attorney from somewhere else to reside over this.
this law was passed in the House of Representatives, the
That's my
state senate,
concern.
and it was signed by Governor Jeff Landry. You gonna tell him that it's illegal? That's y'all.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Ms. Letitia?
I want to say that, I made the motion for the cameras to be used during school hours because this is how the bill is written. I've read through it. I don't see where additional signs are required. I feel that, yes, we do offer, transportation to students who live in this area. However, some choose to walk across a busy highway and attend school at Marksville High, and some of them may have their siblings with them. And I feel like between 1 hour or so in the morning and 1 hour and some maybe minutes or whatever in the afternoon, that if it is our student safety at hand, then I support cameras being used, because I know that there's not enough law enforcement in Marksville and various places throughout the parish in order to police this. So, number one, the safety of the children is my main concern. Our district attorney that we pay $25,000 to every year sat in this building and said, not now, not later, are we going to be liable for any type of legal action. It doesn't say you have to have, I've read it, I can't
That's correct.
find where there's additional signs that says this street, that street,
That's
these
right.
2 streets here have to have a sign there. So I'm not understanding well, I mean, you obviously have your personal issues, your personal concerns, but as for me and the safety of the children in our school system, walking from Marks Elementary, Marksville High from home, I did vote, and I still will vote in support of or against
Okay.
no longer using it.
Thank you, Ms. Letitia. Mr. Ricky?
And look, I second it, and I voted for it last time, but the reason I second it, I can tell you, I don't hang out with any politics or anybody else,
Oh,
nobody.
no, and I'm not saying that, but
And I know, I
it's
understand.
going around.
But I can tell you,
The word's going around.
that's not why I do it. I talked to some of my constituents, and they say the same thing. Look, what week was it? We had 4 lockdowns. We got so much other things that we need to worry about than being part of anything that has hate attached to it, because those people hate the fact that y'all doing those cameras. But the fact that we don't approve it doesn't mean you can't put it 100 more yards down the road.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If a child gets ill on that road tomorrow morning, can you lay your head down on the pillow knowing that you voted against this and stopping this?
You think that's gonna stop somebody from?
If we're not there
Let
at
me
all.
ask you
do
this,
you
let me
think-
ask you this, because yes, I can lay my head down. But let me tell you this, has it stopped anybody yet?
What?
They don't take it serious. They don't take that camera serious. You wanna take them you wanna make them take it serious? Put a cop right there.
Look at the paper that you got. You're talking about signs, extra signage and all that. Look how
Well,
many
again-
signs are out there.
Again, 100 yards down the road, you could do it
We are
without permission.
upholding not following the law.
That's correct.
No.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not gonna get into it, but we know where it comes from.
All right, anybody
But I
else?
digress.
I think we need to have a hand vote.
Would you say, Keith?
I,
Asked if we could have a hand vote.
Okay. So at this time, we'll vote on the motion to rescind. All in favor, raise your right hand at the top of the gavel. 7. Opposed, like sign. The vote is 7-2 in favor of, the motion is rescinded. For the record, I need to read this statement and, put this in the record itself. As president of the board, I have come to believe that photo tickets are illegal due to the concerns about the due process as written in Act 103. During a recent school board meeting, conflict information was presented on the legality and the lack of statutory authority with the appointment by the mayor and our city council of an out-of-town attorney or designee instead of the city judge of Marksville. Furthermore, the law emphasizes the need for clear signage and proper notification to drivers as per SB number 302. The discrepancy between the school board's assertion and the legal framework suggests a need for further investigations and clarifications on this matter. It is crucial that we uphold the principles of transparency and justice in any enforcement measures. Therefore, I'm unable to support this agreement at this time.
And-
Anybody else have a?
Yes, I do. Based off of what you just read, from the last meeting in September to now, there has not been sufficient investigation based off of what you read for opinions or votes to be overturned, because you said matter needs to be investigated further.
Because it's unclear. My first question was, why isn't the city attorney, that's who's supposed to be in jurisdiction over this, that's who supports
The
or
city attorney.
appoints, and he
Mhm.
hasn't, the city judge. Did I say attorney? I'm sorry. The city judge. To me, it starts out wrong. Now, there is, questions too about warning drivers. They got to have a sufficient warning. The sign, with so many feet, that's the gripe of a lot of people. So that have gone through this.
And the sign right now, when I drove in, is right by the light, okay? And there's one sign. And I came here 3 times this week to look at it because I had some concerns about it. And that's a big concern when the city judge doesn't want to take over the matter, okay?
It's not a good reason. Miss Amy?
There's a reason.
And I'll just state this for the 3rd time that we're talking about it. I feel like we've already spent way too much time on it, trying to, enforce the law. That is not what we're here for. And if the city wants to worry about the safety of our children, and we hope they do take it seriously and will patrol, they could park a unit out there with the lights on, and that will deter lots of people, and they can also get out of the vehicle and write traffic tickets. But in the beginning, I didn't want to mingle police work with education of students, and this is what we've done, and this has proven to be the 3rd time that we discuss it.
Thank you. Item number 2, action item, resolution of respect to the late Priscilla Gilbert Jones, retired teacher. Ms. Letitia?
Resolution of respect to the late Priscilla Gilbert Jones, retired teacher. Whereas God in his infinite wisdom has called to her eternal resting place Priscilla Gilbert Jones, retired teacher, and whereas Miss Priscilla Gilbert Jones has devoted 26 years of service to this educational system, Miss Priscilla received a Bachelor of Science from Grambling State University and a Master of Education from Southern University in 1979. Whereas Ms. Jones' 26 years of service with Avoyelles Parish Schools included January 1957 through May 1957 at Carver High School in Simpsport, August 1957 through May 1963 at Washington High School in Lake Charles, August 1963 through May 1971 at Dunbar High School in Bunkie, and August 1971 through May 1984 at Fifth Ward High in Marksville. Whereas this board feels that her passing to her eternal reward should be noted at this time in recognition of the unselfish service she rendered to the cause of public health for so many years. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Avoyelles Parish School Board expresses its sincere regret in the loss of this beloved former employee, and be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the official minutes of the Avoyelles Parish School Board, and that a copy be transmitted to her family, and I so move.
I'll second that.
The motion by Ms. Letitia, seconded by Ms. Amy. Any comments from the board or the audience? This individual will be truly missed, and we'll gladly, all in favor of sending this to the family, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. The next one is a resolution in respect to the late Errol Lynn Amon, retired teacher. Whereas God in his infinite wisdom has called to this eternal resting place Errol Lynn Amon, retired teacher, and whereas Mr. Amon has devoted 22 and a half years of service to the educational system, Mr. Amon received a Bachelor of Arts from Louisiana College in 1960. He began his teaching career in August 1960 through May 1969 at Buckeye High School in Rapides Parish, and then went on to teach at Avoyelles Parish from January 1971 through August 1984 at LaForgue High School. Whereas this board feels that his passing to his eternal reward should be noted at this time in recognition of his unselfish service he rendered to the cause of public health for so many years in public education. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Avoyelles Parish School Board expresses its sincere regret in the loss of this beloved former employee, and be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the official minutes of the Avoyelles Parish School Board, and that a copy be transmitted to his family. And I so move.
Second.
And then Mr. Robin makes the second. Anybody have any comment?
I do. He's a really nice man. Remember him as a good basketball coach at LaForgue High School. Also knew him and involved with him in the cattle business for years and years, and he'll be deeply missed.
And let me just say that we talked together for several years. Of course, he was a lifelong resident, a neighbor of mine. But all three of his daughters were teachers, mostly, and his wife in our system and in Rapides Parish. He was a very competitive coach. He had a good team, because he always worked hard. He also was an avid breeder of the American Quarter Horse, this one bloodline that he perfected, and he was really well known for that and for his breed of Angus cattle. But his dedication to education and to the education of the students in our system will be truly missed. So, all in favor at this time say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Resolution will be sent to the family. Item number 3, recognition of the student of the month. Our most prized item.
The good stuff.
Yes, this is the fun part of what we get to do.
Poor kids had to sit through all
I
that.
know. So we should move it down.
So we're gonna start with our students of the month, and we will start with Bella, and Mr. Chris, you get us started.
Chris,
Oh, well, we'll put him at the end. So how about we jump to Concord? We'll come back, Mr. Chris, don't let me forget. How about we start
not this one.
Concord?
Aubrey
Mr.
Augustine.
Jay?
Destiny and Miss Nikki. Her favorite subject is math. She has straight A's in all of her classes and on her reading diagnostic. She is on grade level. Her hobbies are watching movies on her phone, and her future plans are to make lots of money being a doctor.
There you go.
Okay, LaFargue Elementary, Mr. Lynn.
Dalton Turnage. Dalton is in kindergarten. His teachers are Miss Holly and Miss Williams. His hobbies include gardening, playing outside, and painting. His future plans is to save the world. Congratulations, John.
Stay out of school board meetings.
Call him right now, Miss Tudor.
Okay, Miss Amy has Marksville Elementary.
Marksville Student of the Month is Clay Wade in the 2nd grade. Clay has made great academic accomplishments. He keeps his grades up and does not miss much school. He also has maintained great test scores. Every year since pre-K, he has gotten Student of the Month. Clay enjoys playing with his friends and his brother. He also likes games, the outdoors, cooking, and funny videos. Clay has many plans and dreams. He wants to be the president or work for the FBI. Congratulations, Clay.
Do you need us to come over there? Oh, good. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Clay.
Okay, thank you, Miss Amy. Mr. Icky, you've got Clocheville.
Clocheville Elementary Student of the Month is London Coleman. London is in the 3rd grade. Teachers are Miss Tiffany, Miss Jessica, and Miss Melissa. Favorite subject is science. Academic achievements. Student of the Month last year and always getting positive office referrals. Her hobbies, reading, helping others, making bracelets. Future plans, going to college and becoming a teacher. Congratulations.
Okay, Mr. Icky, you have Riverside as well.
I'm about to study this.
I can't help you.
Student of the Month for Riverside is Tate Grimion. Tate is in kindergarten. Teachers is Miss Callahan.
Whoa.
His favorite subject is writing. His favorite subjects are writing and coloring. His academic achievements, counting to 100, letter and number, recognition, letter sounds, reading small sentences. Hobbies, riding four-wheelers, playing outside, riding bikes, basketball, football, walking, movies, and cartoons. His future plans, new house, big truck, and a hot car. I remember scholarship.
There are so many future school board employees in this room.
I think you did a little high.
Okay, now we're gonna move to high school, Avoyelles High School, and that is Mr. Key.
Miss Ariana Greenhouse. She's been up here before.
Yes, you have.
She attends the 10th grade. Her teachers are Miss Kenesha Jacobs, Mr. Chet Broussard, Mr. Brent Whidden, and Coach Barkley. Favorite subjects are math and history. Her academic achievements are she's on the principal's list, senior beta club, interactive club, track, and field, and basketball also. Her hobbies are playing and watching basketball and watching TikTok. Her future plans are to attend a 4-year university and major in psychology and become a mental health counselor and a child development specialist. Congratulations, everyone.
Bunky Magnet High, Mr. Tindall.
Bunky Magnan High Student of the Month is Miss Tania DeSalle. Tania is in 11th grade. Her teachers are Miss Jessica Juneau, Miss Nora Day, Miss Danielle Morrow, and Mr. Dave Dyson. Favorite subjects are math and reading, academic achievements, teen court, relay for life, color guard captain, fine arts, and mock trial. Her hobbies: I like to dance, I like sketching my thoughts, and I like to involve myself in school activities, even if it's not during school hours. Future plans: start CLTCC for CNA program next semester, work at a nursing home while in school. After graduation, go to UL for registered nurse. Congratulations.
Mr. Robin, you have to look back.
Edgar Stevenson.
All right, and then
We usually read it.
You want me to read it?
we don't know.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
I thought we did.
He comes in, we'll read it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we got one more. Let's try Marksville High. Miss Letitia.
Marksville High School Student of the Month is Miss Zoe Cloud. Zoe's in the 7th grade. Her teachers are Miss St. Romain, Miss Gonzalez, Miss Johnson, Mr. Destel, and Mr. Dozat. Her favorite subjects: ELA. Her academic achievements: Junior Beta and FFA. Her hobbies: reading, cooking, and hanging out with friends. Her future plans: she plans to become a welder. Congratulations, Zoe.
Okay, Mr. Chris.
Yes, he's here.
Mr. Chris.
Yeah.
Bella.
Bella's Student of the Month is Mr. Christopher Dupree. Christopher is a kindergartner. His teachers are Miss Peggy Joshua and Coach Chrissy. Academic accomplishments: he's a top reader in his class, classroom helper, and he's eager to learn and all-around good student. Hobbies include reading, drawing, coloring, and playing video games. His future plans are to become a firefighter. Congratulations.
Thank you. So we're gonna ask you just to sit tight for a minute. We are also gonna do Teacher of the Month, and then we're gonna ask you to go with Miss Amy to the back, take some more pictures. So,
Okay, Bunkie Elementary Learning Academy Teacher of the Month is Miss Patty Richey. Cottonport Elementary School, Miss Allison Lacombe.
turn over here, because I see more cameras.
Just got a notification from us and how fast. Lafargue Elementary School, Miss Valerie Boardlaw. Marksville Elementary School, Miss Kayla Lemoyne. Clocherville Elementary School, Miss Sarah Wallace. Riverside Elementary School, Miss Yvonne Bassett. Avoyelles High School, Miss Abigail Sylvester. Monkey Magnet High School, Miss Dana Blood. LaSasse, Mr. Khalil Roy.
He's coming in. I just talked about him.
Okay, we'll come back to him.
He is literally walking.
Oh, okay, perfect, perfect. And last but not least, Marksville High School, Miss Ashley Gonzalez.
Okay, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. This really does make what we do fun. We appreciate you being here. So this is Miss Amy, and if you will follow her, she will take you to the back, and we will take all those great pictures that are gonna be in the newspaper and on Facebook, all those good places.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all so much for being here.
Congratulations.
Mr. Rick, to boy, to wheel Miss Tudor a little bit.
Oh, yeah, she wouldn't have fallen off, man.
He's a cat. Right now. Oh, you like them boots? Where's he at?
He's serious about it. We love
Yeah,
him.
that's good.
And they match his daddy's.
I was gonna say, daddy.
What's his last name? Rubio. Karen, ask him where he got his boots. I want some boots like that.
It's not good.
Okay, thank you for that.
It's a cute and cool looking
Stand up.
Next on the agenda are the informational items. No action is actually required. Ms. Jessica, you have the sales tax report for the month of September.
Yep, our collections for the month of September totaled $937,494.51. So we did have an increase this month of 0.86%, which was $8,030.53. Last month we had that decrease, so we are going up, so we're going in the right direction. Motor vehicles are still down $29,589.03, so that's a 15.79% decrease, but that number is in our total, so overall we're still up, so we're doing good. Audits, we didn't complete any for September, so we don't have any yet year to date. Our fiscal year comparison, so far to date, we've collected $2,797,600.23. We're still down, but we're down at 1.89% of this year compared to last year, 23-24, and 6.05% for 22-23, and then y'all can see the comparisons down there. Our calendar year to date, we've collected $8,529,922.05, so that's a 3.36% increase of 24 compared to 23. Any questions?
Got any questions for Ms. Jack?
Amen.
Thank y'all.
Good job.
Thank you. Item number 6, monthly maintenance expenditures. Mr. Ricky?
I didn't see anything that stuck out again.
Ms. Amy?
Mr. President, I have one question. It was, for Red Ball Oxygen, $27.18.99, and it says loss of use cylinder. What does that mean, Mr. Ray?
Over the years, y'all have just kind of had an ongoing thing with the red ball, and those cylinders kind of came and went. Well, I was tired of paying rent, so we went. I got them to come over to look and see, find everything there. Well, there was several that was missing. But the worst thing that was that we were paying rent on them and they're missing.
Something that wasn't there.
So that was the easiest way to get out of it, was just pay them off, and they did give us a really good price on them, because we just don't know when they were gone.
And now we have an inventory.
Right, and in fact, the only ones we have now are anyway, we bought them.
Good.
So no more rent, we just fill them when we need them.
Thank you so much.
I think we did the same thing when the last school I taught, we bought our own.
Yes, sir.
Stop on the recording stuff.
General fund financials, Ms. Mary.
Good evening. You should have before you the general fund. So this is several funds that are included in the general fund. The results of operations for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 24. So you'll see the total revenues were $46,833,648 rounded. And this is our first year with Munis, so this is a complete year. The comparison of 22-23 is to the column all the way to the right. So some of the reports didn't exactly come out to the same thing, but we got the numbers to compare. The total expenditures were $46,069,805, with a surplus remaining of $763,843 for that fiscal year. And you'll see the beginning and ending fund balances. Those are the unassigned fund balances. Any questions on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the auditors are doing what they do, and whenever the report is ready to be delivered, we'll be sharing that with you all. Okay? Y'all don't have to vote on it. That's just for your information. And beginning next year, Act 370 mandates that we publish this actual information that we give to the board on the website, so along with the budget. So we plan to do that. I think that's March of next year. Okay. That's all for that item.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to the next item.
Any questions?
I have a question on the monthly general fund reporting, but is that coming up
That'll be the
next?
next.
Or, okay.
That's
I don't know where it starts and
yeah.
stops.
It's
Okay.
after food service.
Just remind me when we get there.
Food service.
Okay, so you want to go to item number 8, the food
Yeah.
service?
They're waiting on you to say item number 8. They're waiting on you to say item number 8.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought you were just gonna do it.
No, I mean, you're looking at it kind of funny, but I didn't want to.
Item number 8 is the 23-24 food service financials.
Okay,
I just
so.
thought you'd automatically go into that.
I was willing to. Okay, so this is for food service fund. As of June 30th, 24, same type of information as we provided for the general fund. So there's the balance sheet here with total assets of $7.5 million and the fund balance to go along with it. And then right below that is your results of operations for the fiscal year ending June of 24. And your revenues were $9.4 million, and this includes all of the regular food service, the food boxes, the supper, and summer. Yes. Right, and the expenditures, if you scroll down a little bit more, Ms. Karen, are $7.3 million, resulting in a $2.1 million surplus. So, and Ms. Jenny has some plans to spend some of that at the schools. I know y'all voted on some things recently. Any questions on that?
Any questions on that one?
This meal is
The monthly general fund, Ms. Mary,
Okay.
year-to-date report.
Okay, so the report looks a little differently from what I used to provide for y'all, but this is probably going to be what I'm going to give you from now on. So you have the balance sheet, which was similar to what you had before. You have the August of 24 compared to August of 23 numbers. So you see the total assets up here, 22.6 to compared to 22.5, and the remaining accounts payable and fund balance. Any questions on that? We did have quite a bit of payables, which included like, some of the ESSER money that we had to loan from the general fund to the grants, but we've collected just about all of that by now.
Mr. President, I have a question, please.
Okay.
I was looking at this, Ms. Mary, on Medicaid reimbursement.
Mm-hmm.
Are we,
So that's the next report,
you
the,
still,
it's okay, that's the, that one, okay, that's the detailed report of all the revenues and expenditures for, August through August the 31st of 24 as compared to 23 and budget to, actual comparisons, okay, which,
the Medicaid reimbursement, are we to the good?
Okay, so the new system shows negative signs for, that's really like a credit in accounting, so it's like backwards. So in this, I know.
We just discussed it.
I know,
that's
when
what
we
we
first
discussed.
bought it, I didn't like that, but, I'd have to go
We just have to
change
get
all
used
this.
to it. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
and that's, well, like on the first report where I showed a surplus, I had to just take the minus out so y'all wouldn't get
Which
upset.
I knew we were doing good with the Medicaid reimbursement, that's why I was just like, okay,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, we're on target
good.
for everything. Actually, I didn't really get into last year's, detail, but on the local revenues, I had budgeted like 500,000 or 800,000 of interest income. We ended up with 1.5 million, so it was great. Hopefully the rates will not drop too much for that in that case. So the total, revenues were 6.6 million as compared to last year 7.9, and I think some of that is just timing. And that's August of this year compared to August of July and August, year to date. And then, going down to the next page, expenditures 3.3 million. So we're pretty much in line with last year.
Thank you, Ms. Mary.
Any questions?
What do you think about next year? How do you project it? What you think?
Well, I know we were able to plan a lot with some of the funding that we had. The sales tax collections are good. I'm encouraged that we have higher enrollment, so with proper planning, we should be okay.
And services cut throughout the state for certain things, do you think will be affected with Medicaid or anything with that?
Not
Bill.
that I know of. But you know, every day's a new day.
Thank you, Ms. Mary. Item number 10, discussion, it's a discussion item, the consequences of posting misinformation regarding lockdowns on campuses and social media. Ms. Gill?
Okay, I, wanted to just kind of address this, so I wrote a little statement to keep myself on track. And then we can throw this around for discussion if we feel the need to afterwards. I'm going to start by saying two things. The first is that we unfortunately have had several lockdowns in recent weeks, and I want to commend our staff and administration for the way they have handled these situations. You showed us what we already knew, that your student safety and well-being come first, and not only did you speak it, but you acted upon it. And for that, I personally am grateful. The second thing is that I know this particular agenda item is not at all the main issue or the elephant in the room, but please keep in mind that there are things we can and cannot address in an open meeting as a board. With that being said, I thought I would take the time to ask for help from parents and all those who love and cherish our students, as well as our faculty and staff. I'm asking that we unite as one and do what is best in the interest of our children. I am fully aware that no one can control the actions of others. And to take that a step further, we as a board can in no way, shape, or form control the thoughts and actions of community members, parents, and stakeholders, nor do we want to. Freedom of speech is a beautiful right we have here in this country, and for that, lost my spot. And for that, I am thankful. With that being said, when that speech crosses a line and endangers others and makes it that much more difficult for our teachers and admins to do their job, I have a problem with that. Children's safety is first and foremost, and every parent has a right to know that their child is safe, and to be involved in every aspect of what that means. We all know that misinformation can spread like wildfire, and there's a fine line between informing others out of concern for safety and posting misinformation on social media that causes panic and unrest. Thankfully, we have not experienced the latter to its full extent yet. But having parents read a misguided post on social media that their child is in imminent danger is an absolute nightmare, and it's their worst fears coming to fruition. And although the majority of those that share this misinformation think it to be factual, or it's what I heard, or doing it out of love and concern for the children of our community, I would ask you to please let these administrators, teachers, and staff do their job, which is first and foremost to protect your child. I can absolutely guarantee you that the teacher standing in the front of the room, the school resource officer patrolling the halls, and the administrators working sun up to sun down have your child's safety as their top priority. Please support them and allow them to do their jobs by verifying your facts before they are repeated. I'm going to close in this. I invite everyone who has a concern about the safety of a particular school campus, or to better understand the safety protocols and procedures put in place and why we have those guidelines, to please contact your school administrators. I am optimistic and certain that any concerns can and will be addressed in a more timely manner by going straight to the source versus social media. We all benefit from our district prospering as well as growing to adjust to meet the needs of this ever-changing social climate. Thank you all for being part of what we love most about our community. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. You know, I'll let somebody else have the floor. That's not.
So it's safe to say that you disagree with misinformation, right?
That I disagree with misinformation?
Yes.
Oh, Miss Small, I think we all do.
All right, so who
Sounds like a trick
decides-
question, Miss Small.
Who decides, with all of it out there, quite sure, anyway, who decides what's crossing the line?
Is this are you asking my opinion?
Yes.
Well, now let me answer it real quick because she asked me if you don't mind. I have a problem with somebody posting. I have to be careful what I say.
That's your opinion, though.
Wait, hold, I didn't give it to you.
Oh.
I have
What you
a
about to-
problem. I think it's a safety issue
Mhm.
when admins are trying to follow their procedures and their protocols, and a parent saw on social media that their child was in imminent danger with a weapon on our campus, and Mr. Caligari and I discussed this a while back, and it's his example. What if a parent runs onto campus to check on their child, and they're confused with, as the assailant? It's things like that.
And
that
I
I'm just
understand
concerned about.
social media, but what about the people making the calls to others?
Oh,
What about
absolutely.
that, the calls and the texts that people are receiving from, teachers or administrators or school board members or people out there in the public? What's the difference? How do we police that if we're talking about,
Explain, ask that again, I'm confused what your question is.
we're talking about social media, but the misinformation is not just put out there through social media and a computer and a keyboard.
No, it has to come from somebody.
No, okay, and so there's this is a cell phone.
Correct.
Text messages and phone calls.
Okay.
What about people using this, or me as I hear Marksville Elementary's on lockdown. Should I get on the phone? Is it my place to get on the phone and start communicating with teachers or administration from Marksville Elementary?
I think Ms.
and-
Tudor might have answered that
Or-
particular question in her, and this, I mean, if that's
Well, I'm just,
specifically what you're
yeah,
asking.
well, yeah, I'm just
I'm
saying.
not disagreeing with
Yeah,
your
I'm just saying,
concerns,
like,
Ms. Small, I'm
just
addressing
saying,
that
okay.
one particular
Oh.
issue that I think I'm asking the public.
And I'm piggybacking on it
Great.
and saying that school board members need to understand their place. as well as administrators, because it's not our place to jump on the phones. Or I'm just saying, I don't know if anybody has. I'm just saying, it's
Nor
not
do
just
I.
the public, but sometimes we get in our own way as well. Now, I'll just say that.
So, and I think you're right, whose opinion is it if it's false information or not? And in the end, if the action results in something bad happening, then they are negligent for that, somebody giving false information. And I looked up several of the laws. There's false public alarms, there's terrorizing, there's criminal defamation, disturbing the peace, unlawful disruption of school operations, and there's potential consequences for all these, and it describes exactly what these people can do. And a judge would decide, would be the opinion, if they actually did violate one of these laws. As far as our policy, that we can't tell parents what to do.
Absolutely, and I stated that in my.
Oh, no,
And
I'm
it's
just
a- and
saying,
it's a,
I'm just saying that.
It's a consequence of having really fast information, is also having really fast misinformation. And when people overreact to it, as we all know, it can cause a lot of reactions that don't need to happen, that really put our kids in more danger. And I think education of the parents, a way to let them understand, look, calm down, the school's gonna put something out as fast as we can about this incident, don't make up a story about it. When one of these incidents happened, I was at a meeting and somebody said some false information in the meeting about what was happening. I said, no, that's not what's happening. They just put out a post. There was no weapon, there was none of this, but it was going around everywhere really, really fast. And bad information spreads really, really fast. And the faster we get the good information out, it's great, but sometimes the bad information just, it's out there so fast and it trumps it. That's what people want to hear. But I think we can, in the future, if it does cause a reaction like that, we can look at some of these laws and have the sheriff's office look at them and maybe look
Hope we
at
don't get to that,
our
but-
police officers pressing some charges on some parents if they're putting our children in danger by making false claims.
Well, I mean, it gets to the bottom line. We know, we've identified some issues and who they are. So what happens from there? What's going on? What's going on with that? And that's what we really need to have some dialogue and discussion about, because when these people do make these threats, when we know who they are, they need to be prosecuted.
So can I say?
Yes, ma'am?
Every time we have a threat, every time we have any kind of issue that involves the schools, if we can put a name to who did it, they are prosecuted. I can tell you that we involve the police. Many times it is the police who come to us. These lockdowns we've had this year have been because the police have come to us and said, here's what's going on, you've got to do this. And when the police come on campus, they are in charge. We don't argue with them, it's not a discussion, we do what they tell us to do. But I will tell you that we always involve the police, we always prosecute. Y'all, these that we've had this year have all been charged with terrorism. Now let me say charged, right? Arrested and charged, because then it goes to the courts. And what happens there, we have no say
We
in.
have no control over that.
And that's where I'm coming from.
Yes, sir, I understand, because we are
I know you're
frustrated
doing
with
on
some
your
of that.
end what needs to be done. I understand.
They also are handled in-house with our code of conduct, which y'all approve annually. And we do follow that to the letter. So we can't talk about that. You won't ever see us post that. You won't ever see that in any of the information we put out. The information that we put out will be general, it will be factual, and we will put it out as soon as we deem that appropriate. And that is our call to make, and that's what we do. We try to make sure, Amy is so on top of that, we try to make sure we put something out on the district level. We also make sure principals have they have our statement and then they tweak that to match what they need to say. But they are very knowledgeable about what we can and cannot share. And I think what we're asking is we just need help with not spreading bad information.
It's not big, that's 100%. It's a very simple request, in my opinion. That it's, for me personally, not as a board as a whole.
Who are you asking, parents or teachers, administrators, and board members?
No,
Everybody.
The community. The community.
But that is our protocol. That is the rules that we will follow. And That's pretty consistent with what our crisis plan says. It's pretty consistent with what we believe we need to be doing. And we're just gonna keep doing what we're supposed to do.
And I commend you for doing what you're doing. And I hope it would move forward to where every player in this game helps us with this. You know, we have to have the justice system to make sure these kids, you know, when they used to have terrorism, it used to be a big thing.
It would be nice if parents would supervise their children and their
Well-
cell phones. Let me sit close to that microphone and say that. Did you hear that part? I think if parents would pay attention to what kids are doing on their cell phones, I think you would be amazed at how quickly we could clean this up. Because this is not easy for us, right? It is hard to go back to having school after you've spent a morning, like, I don't know, I think we've had 6 or 8 of already this year.
And I know we're saying that, but I feel like, are these students, did they have any identifiable behaviors that said, you know, hey, look at me, I need help? Or,
Miss
I'm just
Letitia,
asking, I don't know. I
we're
don't know.
dealing with so many mental health issues right now. We've got counseling in as many schools as we can put it in. We are being as proactive as we know to be and still have school every day. Anytime we have discipline issues, we contact parents. Again, we need parents to help us with this. This is not something we can solve at school all day, every day. This is a community issue. Schools are a reflection of our communities. And if we can't work on this as a community, we'll never win this battle just in our schools. Now, I do want to say, board members, you have a letter and a flyer that will go home with report cards, which is Thursday night, by the way. Report cards go out Thursday night. There also is an emergency terminology page that Amy and Miss Thelma and Mr. Kryn have worked on that will go to teachers as well. And part of what we want to do is just make sure you understand the words we're using, the vocabulary we're using. I've read so many posts this last time about all sorts of words that everybody was sure that we used, and when you Googled them, they said horrific things, and none of that's a part of our crisis plan. So we just want to be clear about what we're saying when we say it, and we want to be as transparent as we can be within the parameters within which we work. But we really need community help with this, particularly parents who give young kids cell phones. That seems to be, when you have a kid who sits around all weekend and watches TikTok, they come to school with all kind of issues and that's research, that's proven. And it creates havoc in our schools.
Mr. President, I was fixing to ask you about this flyer because I think it's great and educating the parents and community what this means, because I know I was the same thing I asked you the other day. Who calls a lockdown? Well, it's not us that calls a lockdown, and it's the
Not
sheriff's
always.
Well, yes, the sheriff's department, the city police, it comes from higher up. We don't ask questions, and I think just letting the parents understand, educating them, to me, it brought a whole new level of, okay, we don't ask questions. If the police say you need to go on lockdown, you need to go on lockdown.
And you have to understand, when we go on lockdown, we literally lock all the doors. You don't come in and you don't go out.
I like this piece. I think it's good.
Mr. Lynn?
Okay.
Well, I was about to say the same thing. Well, we've been dealing with this for quite some time, and probably even before we became board members. But years ago, Mr. Chris LaCour was on the board, and he made a motion to have board meetings spread it out throughout the district. We tried that for, 3 months, 4 months, maybe?
A lot longer than
Maybe a
that.
little longer than
Every
that.
high school.
It was
Well, we didn't receive much participation from the community.
We did not.
All right, so oftentimes whenever we have these uncomfortable conversations, the people that needs to receive this message aren't there. They aren't participating. So before the issue can be addressed and solved, we have to reach the people that needs this information. And this is one step. I actually called about this type of process being put in place, but they also need to understand like why we can't disclose if we have to evacuate or we have to go to a post secondary evacuation site, why that information can't be given out. Why you can't enter this premises, no matter if your kid has a disability or you need to check them out because
Because
don't
it's
know
not
where the
safe.
threat is coming from. So
Correct.
I think that information needs to be put out there and it needs to be understood. But that's my little spiel on that. But also I know we have some staff members here from Lafargue Elementary. They would also like to speak on this particular topic as well. So, Mr. President, I'm guessing you can call them up and inform them what they need to do as far as minutes and how that process goes.
You wanna hear from before?
Yes, I think we have four.
Okay.
Four.
Do y'all have one representative or y'all all speaking?
Okay, so come to the
Oh.
front,
Yeah.
tell us your name
My
and
name is Holly Bordelon. I teach fifth and sixth grade science at Lafargue Elementary.
you have
Hello.
three, you have three.
Okay,
minutes.
it's very short. I'll read extremely fast. Since 2008, Louisiana has ranked among the top 8 states with increasing school shootings, considering the total number of incidents and population. Since the beginning of the 2024-2025 school year, there have been 50 school shootings in the United States, with at least 37 occurring in K-12 schools. These shootings have left more than 65 adults and children severely injured and more than 24 innocent children and adults deceased. As a concerned parent and teacher in Avoyelles Parish, I'm here today to ask some pressing questions regarding the safety of our children and staff at Lafargue Elementary and all schools across Avoyelles. Over 2 weeks alone, a 2-week period, Lafargue experienced 3 lockdowns. We are aware that there were other incidents across the parish. As teachers and parents, we need to know what specific enhancements are being made to ensure the utmost safety of our students. What additional safety measures are being implemented on school campuses beyond classroom door locks? Secondly, it is crucial to understand the criteria used for deploying resource officers and how we can advocate for equitable safety resources across all schools. Why do some schools have resource officers while others do not, despite the fact that the safety of all students is paramount according to a PSB social media post? Lastly, with recent lockdown situations, we cannot afford delays. If there are safety improvements planned, do we have a timeline for these improvements? Immediate action is necessary to protect our children and staff. In closing, we likely all agree that it's vital that we prioritize the safety of our children throughout Avoyelles Parish. We need clear plans for safety enhancements, including additional measures added to all school campuses, all. We must ensure that all schools have equitable access to safety resources, such as resource officers. Immediate action is needed to protect our students, and we urge for a clear timeline on safety improvements. Let's work together to create a secure environment for all our children. Can I answer one of those?
I agree 100% with absolutely everything you said. We have had several meetings, it's on the record, we can dig it up. We are looking for school resource officers on absolutely every campus. We cannot find post-certified officers. The sheriff is looking. We are, I think Ms. Tudor has Ms. Prater looking. We are, right now, we will hire one if there was one available.
So let me clarify that a little bit.
That's the only thing I can answer.
School resource officers work for law enforcement, and so to have a school resource officer at Lafargue, the sheriff will have to find one who is post-certified, who has also done the school resource officer training, and who he will assign there. I will tell you, she's right, he's looking every day, he can't find people. So if it is a if your school is in a municipality, we try to work with the municipalities to do that. The town of Bunkie put a resource officer in their elementary school. Keep in mind, this is a partnership, and we partner with that service, but that person is an employee of law enforcement, because that is a law enforcement officer. So, yeah.
I guess we're just confused on how does one qualify for that. I don't think everyday
They are law
person or-
enforcement officers.
Okay.
Who have completed 2 separate trainings.
We've made requests to the sheriff
Okay.
for one on every campus. He's
Okay.
working on it.
Is that something that's being advertised to existing police officers
would be a
as
question
something
for
that
him.
we
I
can, that they can?
understand that it is.
Okay.
And I think it is, I think the sheriff is advertising, I don't think he's not limiting himself to Avoyelles Parish. I think he's advertising across the state.
Right. Just like if you're
Just
hiring.
like every other sheriff's parish.
Right.
In the
But
state.
if you're hiring for a job, you would likely see we're hiring, and
Yes.
we don't see that, so that's why I'm just, like, are we putting that out there that, hey, this is
We
our
are
mission?
not, because these are
Not
our
whoever. I
employees.
really don't.
The sheriff hires
The
them, we don't
sheriff
hire, we have nothing to
hires,
do with it.
yes, or the municipality.
So are
Now,
you guys urging them?
Every,
Yes.
yes.
We've had multiple meetings and it's on the record and we
And
have
Ms. Tudor
communicated
stated
with
on the
them.
record when Bella got theirs, cause they said, what if all the other schools find a SRO officer? And she said, I will fund it.
Well,
Yeah.
she was with the local PD, wasn't she?
She was.
Or
And
is
they-
she still, I don't know.
Bunky decided to pony up the money and
Yeah,
it
Bunky-
was that important to them.
Bunky found a school resource officer. Now, those other
Is she-
parts you talked
How's that
about,
working
you
out?
need to go back to your principal with that. That is a part of your crisis plan. Your principals are asked regularly.
No, I'm sorry to, but they have done a phenomenal job with
Right.
our crisis plan and everything. They've done everything I believe in their power that they can do, but it always comes down to money, that it seems, and I'm wondering if there is an allotted amount of money that each school can get or
So my-
has, or
no.
or if there's a plan. Not really that we have, because I believe that they're doing everything that they can
So
do. We've
yes.
had many conversations.
So Thelma works to get money to fund what the schools need. But we put that need list together through 2 areas. We do it through your crisis plan. What do you need to make sure your crisis plan is in place with all the pieces that it needs? And what do you need in terms of needs assessment? We address safety first every year. So as a school, and Kim is back there, right? Yes. So y'all have that conversation and send us, if you need something you don't currently have, we either have to address it through needs assessment or we have to address it through safety money. But we have to know what it is, and that information comes to us through your principal.
I understand what you're saying, but I seriously doubt that we're the only
You are.
school that has these needs. No one's coming up and saying anything about it. And I think and I know you guys do all the time, you walk through, but you could walk through a school and say, that's a hazard, there's a point of entry. It doesn't really,
That's been done.
I mean,
That's all.
it's
Yeah,
not,
he did that.
right, so you
Everything
you
was
probably
written
know
out in a
exactly
report,
what I'm talking about.
And the state came in, they have a task force that does that, they came in and helped us, went over with our guy, he filled it all out to
Mhm.
find out how we can make our single points of entry, how we can make our doors legal, all these other things, and we've
Mhm.
gotten to date over $1 million in
Mhm.
grants, and we are doing that.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But if there is something that you need as a faculty, you work on that piece through your principal, who will get
I
that
think it's just
information
big
to us
things,
as well.
it's bigger things, it's not anything, I think it's probably beyond.
Mr. Deloach.
Such as what?
You know, years ago, last year, wasn't it, Mr. Chris, we came across this security company. You remember that approached us?
They
What
came
years
here.
ago? That was
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was just, yes, but correct.
Because the public charter uses them. And we might need to look at that, or even, it might come to the point to where we not need to ask the public for a tax. They did that in Rapides Parish, that's how they got theirs. And that was money well spent back then. Nowadays, it's so much more dangerous.
What
So
do
the
you
private,
see-
go ahead.
Like you said, something bigger than that.
Well, I mean,
What are you requesting?
Not just our school, but other elementary schools I know for sure have tons of glass. We saw that on video. I can't remember which school it was. The first thing that the intruder did was shoot at the glass. So that was not, and I mean, I know the glass is not there as a security measure. It's just the way the school was built before this became such a,
Can I answer? Can I?
I don't even
So
know.
I know and I think, I'm not making excuses, but I think that is something we are getting to. When we went to our conference in Biloxi.
And that's what that's all I'm.
Well, and let me try to word it right. I think Bunky his glass is correct. When you redid your stuff, isn't your glass, I know it's not bulletproof, but it's shatterproof. We are getting there. We had in Biloxi, we sat and met with somebody that he showed us all the different types of glass and how many shots it would take to get through. We're getting there. And I'm not sure if that's on your needs assessment. I can't speak for that, so I'm careful how I say it, but I promise you that we are aware. And if there's a huge need, like you're saying, please bring it to our attention.
Right. And I just want to make it abundantly clear. It's a need not just for us, it's a need everywhere. So I'm not just saying, oh, Fargo Community System, no. It's not just us. I think that there is several things that can be done across the parish.
And we've addressed this several times. To put a resource officer in every school. I think the funding, I think we would do anything we could to get the funding. The problem is finding those people. Mr. Chris had brought somebody in, I think you brought somebody in, Mr. Chris, that was gonna help us. I don't know where that went, if, you know, we've continued that process. But we understand your concerns. And you know, I'm gonna kind of agree with Mr. Deloach. We probably in this parish need to look at a tax for our school system, which would include not only making improvements, but to have a resource officer in every school, like they did in Rapides Parish. And I think that would be very, very helpful. But we know what your concerns are.
I think we have a common goal, but
we understand.
We do need to also understand, and I know you do, that time is ticking, and it feels like it just keeps closing in on us. And I fear that eventually something is going to happen, and then we'll look back and say, well, you know, why didn't we do X, Y, Z, or why weren't we quicker? You know, and I just,
working on it.
Yeah.
And it never gets there, and that's the bad part.
That's
That's
why
the
if
part
there
that'll
is-
keep me up at night for the rest of my life.
And you know, LaForge's a big school, and there's no entity there.
that is a huge,
That's what
and that is
worries
far
me.
beyond, again, it's far beyond anything our administrators can do. They have been phenomenal. We've had several conversations, and we're working on plans. We've discussed a lot.
And
so.
not to, I know we need to move on, but real quick, we had twice on the record, we had this conversation about municipalities stepping up, and I'll say this, and not to call them out by name, we've gotten no response from several of them. I'm not talking about the Florida. We've gotten no response. We're not talking money. We'll write that check in a heartbeat. We're looking for the offices, and we're asking the municipalities to help. But I remember distinctly on the record twice, when it happened, Mr. Lynn said, that's not fair, what about LaForgue? We don't have a municipality. And we said, get with the sheriff. We will get that done if we have to. I promise you, I know y'all can't come to every meeting. It has been in the works, and maybe we dropped the ball on following up, and we'll look into it. But you're correct. Mr. Lynn?
I'm Kayla Laborde. I teach pre-K at LaForgue Elementary. So I guess maybe that just answered my question. My question was going to be who or what determines what schools get the resource officers? Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So we have a resource officer in 3 of our 4 high schools. We have a resource officer in Bella because the town of Funky made that a priority and they partnered with us to do that. Help me out. I think that's what we
That's it.
have.
That's all we
That's
have.
what we
And
have.
I would say as
finding
available,
the-
we would hire them.
If you
Yeah,
can find
as
the human and
available.
bring them and
Find
say,
'em.
he wants to work at LaForgue,
Right now.
certified,
The
Okay.
sheriff will talk to
the
them.
sheriff will,
So
yeah.
Ms. Tudor said that Bunkie community made it better. Like, how can we get our community involved to
Find a person.
step it up?
She said she would fund it if y'all could.
Yeah,
So
Bunkley
your-
actually, yeah, but Bunkley is actually paying for part of it. isn't it?
They
are,
are, but
not
she
there
said,
anymore.
she said on the record that LaForgue was the only one that didn't have a
Oh,
municipality.
yeah, we gonna pay for it, yeah.
She would afford it and make
Right.
it, she would pay it. We just, if y'all find the human,
LaSasse, Bunk,
LaSalle. So the sheriff, you gotta think about where your local police departments are.
they would get one too.
LaSalle doesn't have one, and that would be
But
the
they-
sheriff's
they would- yeah.
department.
That'd be a sheriff too.
And you
Um,
shouldn't
La-
have to find somebody. I'm sorry.
La-
That's-
Right, and
Farm.
it just logically me thinking we're so far out. I don't. It took 20 minutes last lockdown for the police department to reach LaForgue Elementary. Me driving to school does not take 20 minutes. Why did it take 20 minutes?
Probably because they're
Sheriff's
shorthanded as
Department.
well.
I'll have to ask the sheriff.
That's a sheriff question. I'm sorry.
So, hold on, state, don't leave. So, I guess to answer multiple questions here. we have already contacted the sheriff's department about assisting with some of this. But as I'm pretty sure everybody in this room know, he's shorthanded. A solution to that would be the company that Mr. Lynn and Mr. Robin mentioned is Kingdom Security out of Alexandria. You guys are right at that Avoyelles Parish line. They would be, I think, a great resource for you guys to reach out to, because there is no citizen or someone that you can find walking the street that's going to be post certified that you can get and go inside of a school to carry a weapon. They would probably be your better option in order
He didn't mean
to
for you to do
contact
it
someone.
personally.
Right.
No,
So
not
we
you
left it
personally.
with him sending us a proposal.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say. For the record tonight, can the president and the superintendent look into getting back with the security company?
We can do that.
And that we can get a proposal to see about funding resource officers for all of our schools that don't have them at this time.
So funding is not the problem.
Right.
We have said we will fund any you can find. You just have to find them.
Then that's what we need to do. We need to get with these
Maybe
people.
we can use this company until we find the personnel for training.
And I will state for the record, when Sheriff Anderson was in office, it was the same thing with him. We had this meeting and he said, I cannot find the people, the post certified. It's just a
Well,
continuation.
let's look at this company again and.
Yeah.
We'll reach out.
Yeah, so let's reach out to them and see if you can report back
They said they had all the certifications.
and see if we can get some help. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all very much, ladies.
I think that would be the quickest
Thank you
solution.
for taking your time.
So let me say one more thing though. We are working from the checklist from the state police who did the safety assessments at the beginning of school. If you are in that building every day and you see something, you have to make sure that is on your principal's list. You have to make sure that it gets to us through that avenue as well. Because when we do walk through, we don't say, that's glass, it might be a safety issue. Keep in mind, we're focused on educating children. So if you see something, and it doesn't matter whether it's Lafargue or any of your schools, make sure your principal has those needs on their list, so that as we prioritize what we work on, they are working, we have multiple lists we're working on. Because we're working, Mr. J and I think it was state police who did it. Ray and Miss Thelma regularly go out into those buildings and pinpoint pieces that have to be addressed. There are parameters within the safety grants we are working on, but if you are the day-to-day people in that building and you have a need, you have to make sure we know that, and that is through your principal. Now, we believe in the chain of command, so let me be clear. We're not going around your principal. I'm not coming to your classroom and say, tell me what you think we need out here. You have people to do that. You have to work through them. So we take all of that very seriously. We take all of that comprehensively. But we all have a responsibility in this process. Okay.
Anybody else?
No, let's move on.
All right. Item number 11, Bunkie Magnet High School LaSalle cafeteria. The redesign, Ms. Jenny.
And just for the record, Jenny can't spend her money on safety.
No, I can't, sorry.
Cafeteria safety?
So we had 2 of our cafeterias that were redone about 2 weeks ago. We were supposed to have all 4 done at one time, but several of the items for Avoyelles High and Marksville High were back ordered. And I wanted to wait and have the whole thing done at one time. So they're gonna come back in December and do the remodel or redesign for those 2 schools. But in the meantime, we have beautiful pictures of our 2 cafeterias that have been done. Our first one is Bunkie High. It looks really
And y'all, the
great.
pictures do it no justice.
It looks so good.
So
The
amazing.
kids are loving the booth seating. Mr. Chuck can tell y'all, I think he's letting like the gold IDs sit in the booths or something. Yeah, so, but you see they get in there and they're anxious
That's
to go and
awesome.
sit there.
That looks like a restaurant.
Jaleesa got a really fancy new desk. There's a lot of signage. It just looks really,
If
really
I'm not
good.
mistaken, Chuck has things that light up.
Yeah, we'll keep
course he
going.
does.
It'll show it. Yeah, there's a picture. So then that's gonna be our area where we sell our healthy snacks to the kids, after they've eaten lunch. These are some more of the booth seating. We even wrap the hood in the kitchen.
Miss Kristen told me she wanted red in her cafeteria too.
Miss who? Oh.
You wanted
you
red,
go, look.
you wanted red in your cafeteria too,
Yeah,
right,
look,
Miss
that's
Kristen?
the light up panther head. Oh, and then the light up bunkie sign.
Looks great, Miss Jenny.
That looks great.
So then we had LaSasse done, and remember, I met with each principal, with the designers, and this was with Mr. Eric, and they kind of, went over how they wanted the vibe of their cafeteria to feel. So LaSasse is very cool. It's very, geared around their agriculture. All of these windows you can't see, but there are graphics at the top that are all, garden form, different kind of lines in that way.
That's
Right, like right there, it looks like a hill
The
with a bunch
clouds
of.
hanging down, I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
But it's really, it's not doing it justice. Yeah.
Y'all,
So they have
you
some
and
more
your
booth
staff have
seating
done
in
a
there.
fantastic job. Thank you.
Yeah, they're really, really cool. So anyway, so this was just something that we were proud of and we wanted to share with y'all.
Very awesome.
And make sure you go visit if you're out there.
Yes.
Will they feed us? Can we eat?
Yeah. Well, and on that note, this Thursday, we're having National School Lunch Week at Cottonport Elementary. Y'all are all invited. It's 11:30. I think we even gonna have some members of USDA that are gonna be there. And our theme is a pirate theme. So if you'd like to come and, Ms. Mona does an excellent job every year.
Thank you,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Jenny.
Yes, thank you. Nice.
They're serving parakeets.
Your turn.
Felt like I was at a
Item
juke
number
court.
12, High School Day at Grambling State University, Mr. Chris.
All right. Many years ago, we used to do this in Avoyelles Parish, and just recently I was in contact with one of the professors over there. He was there when I attended, and he just mentioned about Avoyelles Parish getting back into that, that type of atmosphere and opening up those opportunities for our kids. So he sent me all of the information that was needed. I passed that information on to Ms. Tudor, told her, what it entailed and like how it could benefit out some of our students. And here we are. And it wouldn't be possible without the coordinators actually agreeing to do so. I think we say up to 30 kids, right?
We said a bus full.
Okay,
We
well,
will
bus
fill
full.
we will fill up a bus, one
Okay.
bus.
So Mr. Khalil Roy, actually with the teacher of the month tonight at LaSasse, Joseph Greenhouse in Marksville, and Ms. Danielle Morrow in Bunkie. They have agreed to be the coordinators for this trip. So, Ontario?
Watson.
Oh, yeah, I know him. And Ontario Watson from Avoyelles High School, so they'll be our 4 coordinators for this trip. We have a sponsor that's probably going to fund the entire trip for these students. So that's pretty cool too. The day will consist of, I think we said 5 a.m. and she'll report back to Avoyelles Parish around.
You said 5:30 a.m.
5:30 a.m. Around that time.
And the only
maybe
reason
5
why I
o'clock.
know is because I told Dane he can go. And
Oh.
I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, maybe 5,
Yeah.
5:30.
I think he told you 5:30, but I'm pretty sure me and Chris, we said 5 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Because you
Okay.
have to,
Okay.
you have to check in at 8.
Yeah, you know more of those specifics than I do.
Yeah, you have to check in at 8, if I'm not mistaken, and then they're gonna serve lunch, and they've got ball game tickets, and they got tours for that morning, and it's a full day.
Yes.
And then the ball game, and then they get back on the bus, and they come home, and so 2:30, we think home by 8?
Yeah, 7, 8, yes.
Yeah.
Now, we just have to decide where is a proper meeting point. The coordinators will communicate with the students on proper dress code and those type of things. We'll go over a safety plan if there's one that's needed for the trip as well.
We'll follow our field trip protocol.
Yes.
Sounds good.
This is just informational purposes.
Sounds good.
And we have a bus driver. A bus driver just agreed to drive.
Okay.
Bus driver,
Two
sponsor,
from
all that,
Bucky.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm excited.
any other comments?
Have you gotten, you know, I had asked about, it. Do you know how many students have signed up so far?
They're doing that at the school
I think
level.
Mr. Dexter is going to find out that if she asked, do we know how many students have signed up so far?
No, we were waiting on some, they've done some preliminary checking, but we were waiting on some finals that we got, push it out, waiting to get this afternoon.
All right, thank you for setting that up for our students. That's gonna be a great experience.
Thank you both, Mr. Cruz. All right, item 13, personnel changes. Superintendent?
Thank you. I'm gonna scroll through. You got these earlier and have had a chance to look at them. If you have any questions, we will do our best. Thelma is the right person to ask, but the information is what you say.
I know this is, I saw that we post, a sub
Yes.
shortage.
We are looking for substitutes in almost every building, in every part of the parish.
Do we know why we can't find any? Is it pay or is it?
Well, part of it is that we don't have that money in place anymore and people are taking off again. So we are needing more than we have had in the past.
When you say taking off, you mean leaving the district or?
No, I mean, so you know, we had that recruitment and retention stipend in place, and if you didn't miss more than 2 days in 9 weeks,
Right.
you made an extra 30. Yeah, that money isn't in place anymore. That was ESSER money. And so now they're taking off more, and so now we need more. And so we're looking. You remember, y'all increased sub pay
Yeah,
pretty,
I remember.
I can't remember off the top of my head how much.
I was here when we increased that pay, it's $80, $90, and $100 now for teachers, depending on the level of degree.
Certified and
Certified is 100, degree is 90, non-degree is 80
A day.
a day.
Per day? It used to be like 55 or something.
So, yeah, if you got people that you think will sub, please send them to us.
Okay, any comments or questions about the personnel changes? All right. Items 14 through 21 are our consent items. I know we have here an MOU. We have information on the Healthy Behaviors Grant. There's about 10 items on policy updates. There's a software purchase. There is also, back on the policies, there's a new policy on artificial intelligence. And so you see them there, and all this was mailed to you prior to the meeting. We normally take one motion to accept all of them, but if anybody has any question on any particular one, we can do that at this time.
I'll make the motion to accept item 14 through 21 under consent.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mr. Robin, seconded by Mr. Keith. Any further discussion, or is there any questions on any particular item?
I just have a comment. If you hadn't had a chance to like dive into it, it's a lot of changes that affect board members.
Yeah.
So
These are, and most of those changes were because of laws that were passed in the last legislative session. But Letitia, you're gonna have to tell me,
Oh, no, I was asking you to go down.
what do you wanna see?
It was a board member.
You want me to go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. So the board policies had to do with educational level,
You could,
is this what you
okay,
wanna
yeah,
see?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's hard to see what's added on here because we don't have color on our scanner anymore. We
It's
gotta
the
work on
underlined
that.
portion.
But number 4 is an addition, and this paragraph that is underlined is an addition. And then the added part on education is this including but not limited to special education. The legislature has required that you attend special education training.
starting when?
I think it went into effect, I think it's for this year.
What about if we have a minor in that?
My whole life is.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of
I will have to get a clarification on your degree level.
Okay.
But, yeah, we'll make a note and check on that. I don't think it spells it out, I think it literally just says, special education. But, we'll check with LSBA and see, cause I'm sure they are handling.
But she and I drove together and took something at Northwestern,
Okay,
so.
we will check. Okay.
Anybody else got any comments about any of them? All right. All in favor of the motion made by Mr. Robin, seconded by Mr. Keith, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Item number 22 is an action item. Recommendation to approve the renaming of Bunkie Elementary Learning Academy School Gym to the Albert Dawson Gymnasium. Chris?
This has been something that we have discussed over the past couple months, Ms. Sharice, as well as Ms. Karen. Yeah, so not to discuss it or talk about it too much, I would like to make a motion to name the Bunkie Elementary School gym after Mr. Albert Dawson.
And I 100% second that.
Motion has been made by Mr. Chris, seconded by Ms. Jill. Any further discussion?
Is he the gentleman that donated the?
No, he was the custodian for
Oh, the one, okay.
For years.
decades.
Yeah.
And I,
He passed this previous semester, if I'm not mistaken.
and he
All
was,
in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Item 23, recommendation to accept a bid of $111,000 from the Avoyelles Hospital in Marksville for the purchase of the Bunkie Detention Center. Mr. Ray?
Well, basically, everything was kind of spelled out in the recommendation, but you see the letter there where they bid the $111,000, your appraised value at $110, and where you had approved to advertise.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we, recommend to accept this bid.
Mr. Robin, I ask that you move not only to accept the bid, but to authorize Ms. Karen to execute any paperwork that needs to be done.
Okay. Okay.
Moved by Mr. Robin, seconded by Mr. Jay. Ms. Jill, do you have a?
I do. I'd like something on the record, if you know the answer, Mr. Ray. Would you happen to know what they plan on using the facility for?
Jay does.
Okay, well, good, he.
So when this came through, I contacted the company, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't something nefarious or something, just in case somebody asked what they wanted to do with it. And the plan is for the company to make a new psychiatric hospital with an annual payroll of $4.2 million with state and commissioning accreditation, 1 to 1.5 million cash flow infusion for ops, 2 million in building remodel. Timeline is 9 months for the renovation. Say they're gonna employ full-time 12 RNs, 12 LPNs, 42 MHTs, 15 ancillary staff, 16 administrative staff, clinical staff, physical team, and the list goes on.
It's on your screen.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what the plan is to do with it, and I think it's a good idea.
Thank you.
Let's go Bunkie.
A lot of jobs in the area. Any other comments?
Well, I wanna say, I'm very, very glad that they had the opportunity to bid on it, to get it, and that we get it off our hands.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Ray, and you up again, huh?
Yes, sir.
Item 24, recommendation to approve declaring surplus salvage advertising bids, selling 20 used buses.
I'm getting there, Ray. I'm looking for them.
And Mr. President, I would like to move that we, sell those buses as Mr. Ray keeps doing, and it's great.
And I'll second it.
I did wanna just mention one thing.
He's going us to say something.
Seconded by Mr. Robin. Okay, Mr. Ray, you wanna say something?
I just, before we we've advertised and we'd have one or two bids and some of them would never come get them. It's just kind of be one thing after the next. And we do have a bunch of 2002 and older. So this time, I've already worked out the deal. As soon as the day comes and we open those bids, the ones that are not sold, we are going, and actually we're gonna get more money.
Put them in Miss Amy's yard.
We're sending them to the recycling. The guy's already worked it out. He's gonna give us $800 a piece for them, which to be honest,
That's a lot better than we used to
that
get.
is so true. And we are gonna have 30 less buses one way or the other.
Or some of these,
parked everywhere, huh?
Good question. Yeah, good statement. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got something to go pick up at the detention center too, huh?
No, you noticed that. right?
Mark's
Yeah, I sure did. I've been noticing that.
Ms. Jill?
that was my question, the detention center buses.
Oh, yeah,
Any other
all of
questions?
those. Yes, exactly right.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Moved by, who made the motion?
Yeah, Jill.
Jill, seconded by Mr. Robbins. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And adjourned.
So you're gonna add that to, that motion?
Stacy's doing minutes, and I made a note.
Yeah, so the guy.
So if